variable I'm looking for is my base. So how could I rewrite something to the 5/2 power? Okay. Huh? All right, so if I want to get b by itself, what do we do? All right, if you want to get rid of the square root, you square each side. Square root and the square cancel. So b to the 5th equals 59,049. How do we get rid of a 5th power? Mm-hmm. Do we need a plus or minus or not?
No.
No. You do if this number is even. So if it's a square root, a 4th root, a 6th root, you need plus and minus. If it's an odd, you do not. So the 5th root of that number is what? That's the square root.
Oh, yeah, it is. That is mine.
9.
Why did I get? I got 8.9 repeating.
Oh. Did you?
I put 45 instead of 49.
Oh, okay. You can easily check this if you just type in 9 to the 5/2 power. It does equal 243, so you can check it. Good. Why don't you guys trade?
Actually, no, that's me. Wait, what are we doing?
Okay. So the opposite of a cube root is cubing. So 81 to the 3rd.
5, 3, 1, 4, 4, 1.
And then to get rid of a 4th power, 4th root. Since this is an even root, you need plus and minus. And you get 27.
These are easy.
Good.
Do all of this.
Any questions on that one? Then let's do an inequality. All right. So essentially with these inequalities, we're going to treat it just like we were solving an equation. So we were doing these yesterday. We tried to get a common base. You can't change 3. What can I change 81 to?
3, 4.
So then once you get the same base on each side, you can drop the base. So 2x is less than 4. So x is less than 2.
We have to draw something for these.
All I want is, since it's an inequality, I would like for you to give me an interval for your answer. So less than 2 would be what? Negative infinity to 2. So everything's smaller than 2. If I said less than or equal to 2, what would change?
Bracket on the 2.
Yep, bracket on the 2. All right. Now this one is a little bit different because my base is a fraction. Remember when we first scratched these things? If your base was bigger than 1, the function was increasing, and when the base was smaller than 1, the function was decreasing. So we have to be a little bit careful when we have fractions for the base. If at all possible, I like to first rewrite them So it's a whole number instead of a fraction. So what could I change 1/2 to? 2 to the negative 1.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, 1/16 would be 2 to the,
What is that, 4?
so negative 4, since we need to bring it up. So if I make my base a number greater than 1, then there's no other trick involved. If you keep your base as something smaller than 1, then we have to actually end up flipping an inequality later on. So if the base is bigger than 1, then it's much easier to work with. So now if I solve this, we know power to a power we multiply. And distribute that negative 4. So now we have the same base on each side. So if I add over my 4x, divide by 2, so x is less than negative 6. So less than would be negative infinity to negative 6. If I asked for greater than, if I got x is greater than negative 6, what would I put? Negative 6 to infinity. So on those inequalities, you'll always have an interval like that for an answer. Do we need to do more inequalities? You good?
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing, but I wasn't doing something right.
I would like to look at one problem. There is one similar on the homework that a lot of people were having trouble with on tonight's homework. So if I give you something like this. Okay, there is no way to write this without my base being a fraction.
Can you reduce that one though?
We can check 256 over 81.
I was gonna say, does anything go into it? I don't know.
We just type it in our calculator and hit math number 1.
Oh, you can take the square root of this one? No. So.
Well, but thinking along those lines, let's break it down. So let's try to find the power. So 3/4, can we agree there's really nothing to do there? And we know that if we're going to be able to solve this problem, we have to have a 3/4 over here, right? So let's ask ourselves, does 3 to any power equal 256? No. Does 3 to any power equal 81? What power? 4th. What's 4 to the 4th? 256. So this is like the 4th power. However, it's flipped. What kind of exponent would flip it? A negative. So that's my 3/4 to the negative 4. And we still have that x plus 3. So then a power to a power, we multiply those exponents. Now we have the same base on each side. So now we can set those exponents equal to each other and solve. We add the 4x, add the 1, divide, so x is negative 11 of this. And you guys all know how to check these. You can just plug them into the original and make sure it works if you need to. Any questions for me? That's all I have.